A lot of what we do here at AutoVent involves controllers and circuit boards, and I design a bunch of the basically relay holders. Here's a blank board, and what's interesting about the board is how it's made. There's copper on the kind of the thick green line that you can catch your fingernail on. That is actually copper. And then the green part is just an insulator across the top of everything. So when you design it, there's copper on both sides. The shiny part is it is copper with a little bit of solder on, so it solders real easy. So here's this exact design on the computer, but how you design it is here. The red is the top layer. If you see that, the little traces go up and down from every other jigger, if you will. See, like, you can just pull it down and move it. You can change the text, or I can delete that line. Now there's going to be a gap there, and the electric won't go through. So when you're designing things, you got to keep your head straight on where you want the electric to go. So we have ground. This blue part is actually a big copper. So the whole thing's all copper for interference, to try to eliminate interference. And then these little red lines are the layer on this side, and we just drag them around, try to put them in the corners neatly. You can move them around. You got to watch out. You can't. The software keeps you from running it across of these other pins, so like I can't drag it over. If I get it too close, it'll try to keep me from getting too far away or too close to the wrong things. Most of the time, but all that has to be put in correctly. So this is how you do a software. You draw it up, and then you output this, and it like spits out. It makes a file with a bunch of different drawings in it, because they have a drawing. They have a drawing for the green layer, then they have a drawing for the copper on the top, then the fiberglass and all the holes, and then the copper on the bottom, and the green on the bottom as well. Oh, and then the printing is still a different layer. So you have this whole bunch of files, and you give it to what they call a board house, and they send back these. You get a green board back exactly how you drew it up. If you made mistakes, if your components don't fit, it just won't fit. You get back whatever you drew up, and it takes me a couple versions sometimes till I get it correctly. I mean, if I'm too much of in a hurry and don't look over things real tight, or you hardly know sometimes. So we can go back and show you how we do our soldering. Here's at the end of our assembly line. Here are the completed controls. It's not actually for this particular board, but this is a temperature control for private labeling for a company. Here's more that are in testing. Here's our assembly area. Over there, they're putting the screws on the boxes. Here's more partially stuff. Theoretically, everything's hanging neat, but we actually work here. And back here is the soldering area. We have this machine here to set the boards in to solder it. It's really dirty right now, but anyway, we do a lot by hand. So when you sit down here, it actually solders really easy. You just go along and set all the components in. And we'll solder these in a while. There you can see it's getting, here in the solder, it's getting up to temperature. If we run at 660, and it needs to be right on. So here I'm soldering by hand. It's actually really easy. As long as the circuit board is brand new, and everything's shiny, it's very little effort to solder. It just wicks right in. So you put the parts on, and flip it upside down so the parts don't fall out. But actually, you need to actually start with the shallowest components first, because when you flip it upside down, all the small parts will just fall out. So you have to put them in, put the little stuff in first, flip it upside down. For this demonstration, I just stuck these in. So you just go through all these items one at a time until you have a completed circuit board. So it all starts up here. You have this idea you want to do. So you draw it up, then you come back here and you solder it. If it's a higher volume item, we'll do it on the soldering machine. And this is an old soldering machine. We're at a really low volume here compared to like normal board assembly places want to do hundreds and hundreds at a time. We do them 10 at a time or 5 at a time. So yeah, we're a small time. We just assemble all for our own products. Basically reuse a lot of reuse the same components over and over again to make it easier to assemble. So that's what Kevin does here at AutoVent, and I hope you found this interesting.